Amelie and welcome to Just Practicing. So this week I'm continuing my series on all the Telemann Fantasias and we're at number 7. And so if you're interested, I have recorded these and I have made my own edition. You might know that already of them. And so in my edition there's my own ornaments that I added especially when there's repeats and we want to do it differently the second time around. And yes, and so I thought it would be fun to also do a full series of just practicing of that's like a very important how do you say that, like opus in the flute literature. Yes. Okay, so that's let's see, I'll just get a bit higher, a bit sharper. Okay. Okay, and it's in D major. And we start with all those low Ds as the first note of the measure in the first 3 measures. And you want them to have some resonance. If you look at my version, you'll have staff above the main staff. And that little staff above the main staff is called an osaya. And that's for the repeat. Those are my markings. They're not the composer's. So you do what you want. You don't have to follow them. Same with the slurs that are my addition. They're just my own. So you could change them. You could change the dynamics because that's just the editor's choice. That's not the composer's choice. But I feel like sometimes it's helpful to have someone who did the edition for us when we just want to play it and we don't want to have to think about all these things, slur, like articulations, dynamics. Just take that as a first step and then maybe you'll realize I prefer a different articulation here or a different dynamic or whatever. So yes, it's just we all get inspired by each other. Okay, I'll start. So it's Allegro, no, it's Largo, I mean, so it's slow. And alla francese, it means that it's kind of double, it's like a, you know, it's double dotted. So you have to make the dotted note a tiny bit longer and you have to make what's after like as at the end as possible. Like it's pretty much what it means. But you know, you do your best in that. It's not exactly it's just that French style of Baroque to do the dotted notes like that, like da 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 instead of da 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 da. You see, it's a bit more at the very end and it has a little bit more energy in it. Okay, I'll play the beginning. It's a live stream, obviously, so you can leave comments or questions while we're doing it. You know what? I'll put a metronome because I feel like I'm kind of maybe it's a bit fast. 3. Sorry, my screen. Oh. So, oh yeah, and I said that I have recorded these, but I didn't say that if you want it, you can go on musicgy.com and you can buy it there. And I want to say I'm very grateful to everyone who has bought it or has bought one of our methods on that site, and everyone who's watching too. Thank you so much. And so, okay, Yeah, so you might have heard I was doing it a little bit, sorry, a little bit double dotted instead of just one dot on that note. Okay, I'll start over. Make sure that you don't stop at the bar line, because you see those short notes, they're going towards a long note. Like, let's say between first and second measure. Bam, ba-da-dee-da-ya, ba-da-dum. It's not da-da-da. You don't want to stop there. And I hear a lot of students kind of stopping at bar lines, but make sure that the short notes are short and the long notes are long, because sometimes we tend to do, just pay attention when you play, that you're not making the short note just before a long note long. A lot of people kind of get confused about which note is the long one, and very often I hear the rhythm a bit changed like that. Like, I'll give an example. People might play like, it's not that. Listen to what it should be. Here at on that E and A, you want that E to be a bit louder than the A. Da, da, not da, da, I think. But like, that's my opinion. I like it better than, I guess, because also it's on a second beat, which is a weak beat. So I like it like that. I'll continue. I want to say, okay, so that's a slow movement, but with some parts that are fast, but it still has to sound slow. And it's all in the way you do those scales. Let's say, it still sounds slow. Make sure you hear all of them. You can practice it like this. Did it again. So you can practice it like this, going up and down. The trick also is to keep your fingers close, and doing that motor pattern very often, so it becomes easy. You can start all detached, you know. So you go up and down. Then you can do rhythms. Then the opposite, short, long. Then you can do one long, three short. Or you go A to A. Then you could stop on D. You know, make different things so you keep it interesting. Yeah. And another thing that I find that makes it sound better is to start a bit slower and do an accelerando in it. You hear my first 2-3 notes are a bit slower than the other ones. It's as if you go and you getting your speed kind of. Okay. Yeah, so you want them to sound a bit seamless so that it sounds easy and slow in a way. So keep your fingers close and practice those things. Make sure you hear all the notes. We don't want to skip notes. Yeah. So I'll go back from after that B scale. It's a D scale, but starting on a B. Here I like doing that. I start piano because it's the same motive coming 3 times. So I go piano, mezzo forte. I go a bit louder. I think it's nice to build up there. Start again. Okay. And you see here in the repeat box, I did da 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 instead of da 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 da, because you can do that because it's alla francese. Okay. I guess if you don't, it's not the end of the world either. You know, you could decide that you feel like doing it the other way and it's not a crime, in my opinion. Okay, now I'll do it again. I do the repeat with the little little additions. Too fast there. Yeah, the C to B sharp is a bit, you kind of have to do it like that, and it's a bit more difficult. I had a little thing that I wanted to say. What was it? Yeah, you know, be mindful that usually the first beat is really the strong beat, and then on the second beat you might want to have it a bit like the resonance of the first beat in some places, like if I go instead of, but again, you know, it's also a question of taste and your own musicality, because I can tell you, oh, you should play it like that because that's how I feel it, but if you don't feel it like that, you might not be convincing. So just take what I say with a grain of salt. But I think there's also some type of musicality to it, because I really believe that rhythm and phrasing, they really go together. And yeah, okay, let's do the other part. So here we're doing an Allegro, and there's also a repeat. Is there a repeat? There's supposed to be one. I don't see it. Okay. Okay. I'll do my best here. All right. 1, 2, 3. I'll go at this speed. Okay, so I think that the difficulty in this movement is that it goes high and low. It's a lot in the fast movements of the fantasies. It comes back a lot. Okay, so you know, like so it goes like sometimes more than an octave, and it's fast. So you have to find a comfortable position so that you don't have to move too much. You know, you don't want to have to move too much because I feel like a lot of movement can also be more risky because it's less stability. You know, less stability means more cracked notes and stuff like that. So you can find a note that you're very comfortable with, that you think is very beautiful. Let's say, I don't know. I like this one. And you see, that's my middle position, kind of, you know. And this way you can go. You can go. You know, do big jumps like. I like practicing those things slurred because it's kind of yeah, it gives the jump thing like a different meaning. You do it more with your airspeed. So think of airspeed when you do that, but it's so fast, you know, you have to kind of have like I said, a middle ground and try to just I hear sometimes people that have a beautiful sound, but they kind of want every note to sound its best. Here you have to just find, and sometimes people who do that, I feel like they lack in their phrasing because they think of each note instead of thinking of the big line of the phrase. And here you have to think big line of the phrase. If you get caught in, of course you want each note to be heard and to be as beautiful as possible, but if you get caught in this brilliance of every note, you'll slow down, you'll lose the phrase, and not every note has the same importance. Some notes are on strong beats, some notes are on weak beats and all that stuff. So yeah, be careful with that, that you don't get too caught in the detail and you lose the big picture. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, is there any question, any comment right now?
Just general questions, but not about.
Okay, so we'll do the general questions at the end. Okay. Okay, so I did the whole movement, I think. Yeah. So then I do the Largo again. So I'll do the end of the Allegro, like let's say a few measures before. And then you start over on the Allegro with the repeat. You notice also in a slow movement when you do trills, you can do it in an accelerando. So you start them a little bit slower. So you go like I think it's nice, you know. Sometimes it makes it sound a bit faster because it's because in comparison it is, so that can be interesting. Also, I think that I find sometimes that is difficult with trills is how to end it. So make sure you end it on the real note. So not. You hear the difference? So you end it on the G a little bit before the end, and then you do your other notes. Yeah, end it on the real note. So now I'll do the repeat with the little extra notes. Usually low notes are easy for me, but I don't know, today my D's don't sound the best. I'll do it a bit slower. So I just played it a bit slower than it should be. If I was preparing it for a concert, I would get it faster, but I like practicing slowly, so I would probably practice it even slower than that, and then alternate slow, fast. Maybe use a metronome, because sometimes without a metronome I tend to not stay slow, so I would keep it slow. Maybe practice the whole thing all slurred sometimes, and then, you know, I like changing things around when I practice, not doing it always the same. And when I do those things, I try to give myself goals. So let's say I say I'll do it all slurred. That's going to be for sound, feeling the phrasing, feeling like I feel like it gets my articulation better after, because the airstream is very stable, stuff like that. So now let's do the Largo second time. G sharp. Okay. And now the Presto. I think here there's a mistake on the second box. It's a B, but it's a D. Obviously it's a D because it's the end of the, yeah. Okay, so now the Presto. The Presto is pretty straightforward. It's, and there's no repeat, but I still added little things, little hiatus if you want to do them. I'll do it once slowly and then once at the real speed. Let's see. Let's try it like that. 2, 3. Okay, I'll try the whole thing. And it would go like added a little thing. You can do that too. Here you see like the pum pum. It's really a motive that comes back a lot, and it's almost like an ornament, you know. And it's on an upbeat, so it's not. You see, it's. Goes towards the first beat. You see, same thing just after that. You go towards a low note. Sometimes we can be tempted to do, but that goes against the rhythm. Okay, so yeah, and every time you get the tar-yum pum pum, give it a little bit of energy. Tar-yum pum pum pa-da-dim. Because that's a motive that people recognize, you know, and we get attached to things that we recognize like that, and that makes it interesting. Sometimes you play it louder, sometimes you play it softer, but you give it this little energy. So yeah, that's that piece. So take your time, start slowly, and yeah. Was there any question or comment?
Yeah, well, just regular questions about stuff. If you want me, if you want answers for that.
Yeah.
Rice Bowl wants to know, hi Amelie, I'm a complete beginner to the flute, and I've ordered a flute, and it might arrive next month. Do you have some tips and tricks for beginners I should know? I've watched most of all your videos, but what are some tips and tricks that I should know?
For beginners.
For beginners.
So I don't have to repeat the question. People heard it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You have a mic?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. So the person is asking if I have tips for beginners. Yeah. So we have a playlist for beginners, I think, and we also have a method for beginners that I'm very, very proud of, because it teaches you everything you need to know, and it's all in lessons, like incremental, and you can do it in the exact order that it's in, and you get videos with it, and MP3s, and the PDF of it. So I think it's a pretty thorough book, and it's worth it. But if not, just check our playlist for beginners, and then go with difficulties that you identify. Let's say, oh, how to play a high note, how to play a low note, and all those types of things. And don't be, you know, you can always rewatch, because really grasping the basics, it's all it's about. And really making the basics strong, because like that's what it is. There's not that much into playing the flute if you think about it. It's just after a while you get those basics are very strong, but it's the same thing that you've learned from the beginning. If I don't know if I'm being clear, but yeah, I think yeah. And as a beginner, I would say for practice, try to be you'll have better results by practicing regularly, a shorter amount of time than trying to practice too much in one day. So try to make a schedule, some type of routine that fits in your life and that you will enjoy doing. Play pieces that you like so that you're motivated to practice, and be patient with yourself and be kind with yourself. That would be my advice.
Victor wants to know, are you going to be planning to see or do any concerts in the springtime?
Am I planning concerts in the springtime?
Or seeing any concerts or playing any concerts, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I might play something in the end of spring, beginning of summer, some contemporary music. I'll see where that, there was the talk of that, but not that much concert-wise. I didn't have a lot of energy to organize those lately, because I was doing more like recordings and books, and I want to finish that technique book that's almost done and stuff like that.
Oh, Humberto Sandoval from Mexico sent a super chat to $10.
Oh, thank you so much, Umberto, for the super chat. Thank you.
You didn't have a question, but yeah. So yeah, but didn't you go to a concert recently? Didn't you go to OSM or something recently, or one of those with the groups?
Oh, I went to yeah, I brought some students to the OSM, the Symphony Orchestra here in Montreal. It was a concert for young people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. Cool. They loved it.
Nice.
I like having I like making young people discover culture around in their cities. I think it's so important. Developing new you know, new horizons, new habits that maybe they didn't have, and maybe eventually they'll be like, oh, I went to that hall and I heard a symphony orchestra and I loved it. I'll bring my kids, or I'll go back for fun. And yeah, I really believe in knowledge and culture as tools for a better society. And I think it's my little part.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the questions, and then I think next week we'll do the podcast, right?
So next week we'll do the podcast, yeah. So next Sunday, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this this little Just Practicing, and if you liked it, please like it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and go on our website musigy.com for all our things like methods and recordings and all that, and also check our merch, like this nice shirt. You have it there. And I think that's it for this week. So thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.